This is the Totem Ranger. It's an overall great bike with a lot of great features, and I love how comfortable it is, and I love that it's got this rear rack. It's built really well, but there are two things about this bike that I really don't like. But are those two things going to be deal breakers for you? Well, let's hop on the bike, take a ride, and talk about it. All right, so right out of the gate, before even starting, I can tell you one of the things that I really don't like about this bike. You can see here I got it in pedal assist level 1. Got our throttle over here. Pull back on the throttle, nothing. Let's go up a couple levels, all the way up to pedal assist level 5. Throttle, nothing. All right, so I thought that was going to be a problem with this bike. I thought there was something wrong with the throttle, but after getting a hold of Totem and asking them about it, it's actually a safety feature. The throttle is locked out until you get rolling, until you take off a little bit with the pedals, and I really don't like that. I get it, it's a safety feature so that you don't whiskey throttle the bike in traffic or something like that, but honestly, I'm not a fan of that. I have enough experience on e-bikes and on motorcycles that it's like, give me the option to lock it out or unlock it if I want to, but I'll show you how it works now. I'm going to take off pedaling, and we're at about one full crank before the pedal assist kicks in. And the bike is peppy. It's got some good power to it. But now that we're rolling, roll back on the throttle. I'm not pedaling at all right now. And yeah, it's got some decent power. And here's the second thing that I don't like about the bike. Well, we're going downhill now, so we're capping out at about 22 miles per hour. This bike is powerful. It's got some good power in the motor, but it's capped at 20 miles per hour. Software, it's a firmware limitation in the controller. I've not gotten into the controller to see what kind of voltage it's putting out, but to me, as powerful as this motor is, limiting the bike to 20 miles per hour just seems like a really bad decision. So that's it for our speed test, which usually goes a lot longer. This bike's got so much power in the rear motor that it gets up to its cap speed really fast. So there's not much else to show you there. I can go through the different pedal assist levels. I'll go down to pedal assist level 1, and I'm going to go throttle only. No, I'm not. Out of habit, I always want to twist the throttle when I take off, but it's not possible. So again, one crank on the pedals, and we're up to about 9 miles per hour, 9.5. Level 2 takes us up to around 12. Level 3, really feel it kick in there. We're capping out, I think, at about 16 here. Let me get around this curve. Yeah, it's capping us out about 16.5. Level 4. $19.5. Level 5. They say the bike's capped at 20, but it does get up to about almost 23 on flat ground with casual pedaling. I'm going to do throttle only now and see where it takes us for that top speed. Yeah, it takes us up to about 23, then I can feel the motor back off. So those are all of my complaints about the bike. From this point on, I'm going to have nothing but good things to say about it, because overall I do like it. I like the comfort, I like the ride. It rides fantastic. This upright riding position is going to be awesome for really long rides. And with a cap of 22 miles per hour, the 15 amp hour battery should take us for a pretty long way, especially if you're going to pedal. Now, I personally would prefer a larger front sprocket. I am basically ghost pedaling here, but changing out a sprocket is something that would be easy enough to do. All right, let's take a walk around the bike and we can show you what we get with the bike. Overall, pretty high quality parts on this bike. The frame is built really well, and I like the detail that they put into the paint job and the additional details with the lettering and everything that's on the bike. Decent seat, but not great. I would probably change that out, but I'd wear it out first. Really well-built rack here. 25 kilogram limit, which is I think about 56 pounds. Metal fenders up front. We got our bouncy forks, we've got some preload adjustment, and you can lock them out. They did cut some corners with the brakes here. These are mechanical disc brakes, but with the top speed that this bike caps out at 20, I don't think it's going to be a problem. They're going to be adequate enough. We got knobby 3-inch tires, 26 by 3-inch tires, and this is not a common tire size for this kind of bike. Being 3-inch, they're going to roll better than a 4-inch, but they're not going to go off-road as well as a 4-inch through like mud and sand and stuff like that, so keep that in mind. We got mounting points on the frame up here, so if you would want to add a front basket, you can. As far as comfort goes, I really like how high these handlebars set. I'm not a fan of these grips, but they're easy enough to change out. These are our control buttons here. We've got power, up and down for our pedal assist levels. The screen looks great. It's a high contrast, high color screen, and it's very easy to see, but there are no ways to get in through this screen to adjust the settings in the controller, and I think that's the major downside of this bike. I believe that if you could get in and adjust the settings on the controller, you could probably make this bike a lot better than it actually is. I've ordered a third-party controller that I'm going to hook into this bike and experiment with, and if I'm able to unlock the two major things that I don't like about this bike, that is that you've got no throttle control on takeoff, and that you've got a top speed of 20 miles per hour. If I can unlock those settings, I will do a follow-up video on this bike and let you know. But back to the walk around, I love how high these handlebars set, and I love that they've got some rise and some pullback. Most of these bikes have a really aggressive stance, and on a really long ride, you can get pretty uncomfortable being hunched over, and it can put a lot of pressure on your wrists. This thing is made for comfort riding, and it does a great job of that. Again, in the back, we got our rack here. We got 160 millimeter mechanical brakes again in the back. We got a 750 watt motor with 1500 watt peak output, so it's a pretty powerful motor, and it's a shame that it's locked down in the settings. So again, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get in and hack that. Metal fender again in the back. Shimano tourney derailleur and a nice derailleur guard here. 7-speed cassette in the back. Single sprocket up front. It's got a single chain guard. I wish it had dual, but it's all right. It's got 42 teeth. I counted. I wish it had a few more teeth up front, but that's something that could be changed out if you would need to. Here's our controller. Battery sets here. It's a 15 amp hour battery. And there's a plastic plate on the front here, so if you want to remove the battery, you push this button up, and then you use the key to unlock it, and there's a button you push right here to pop the battery out. The battery looks like it's really well made. A lot of these bikes have really cheap looking batteries. This thing has, it feels like an aluminum body, and it feels pretty well put together, so I think they put some time and effort to address people's concerns with the batteries. I can't remember the exact charge time. I think it's 5 hours from completely dead to charge this battery up, but I will put that info on the screen right now. And I did forget to mention we got a cheap headlight up here, but it's bright enough. I almost never do any night riding. If you do a lot of night riding, you might want to change that out for something else, but from what I've used of it, this has been adequate. So I said that those two things that I don't like about this bike might be deal breakers for some people. They're not going to be deal breakers for me. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to make the changes to this bike that I want to make. I'm going to put the larger front sprocket on here, and I've ordered a third-party controller screen to see if I can get into the controller settings and modify them to the way that I want, so that maybe I can unlock that throttle and cap out the top speed. But if I can't, it's still a really good bike. I like it, and for long rides, it's going to be a lot of fun. The 3-inch tires are great for trails like this where you really don't have to worry about going through the mud, and they give less rolling resistance. So it should contribute to a overall great battery life on this bike, and it should take you pretty far. All right, I'm going to do a hill climb test here. These cameras never do justice for how steep these hills are, so I'm going to overlay a picture of how high this incline is, and I'm just going to go up this pedal assist level 5, no pedaling whatsoever. I weigh 200 pounds. The bike weighs, I don't know off the top of my head, it weighs this many pounds. But here we go, throttle only up this incline. Again, I keep forgetting there's no throttle on takeoff, so let me start pedaling to get it rolling, and then I'm going to drop off and go into throttle. So all right, so now it's kicked in and I've stopped pedaling, and now I'm rolling back on the throttle. Such a dumb design. This wood's not as wet as it was the other day. I wiped out here the other day, but yeah, this thing climbed right up this hill with no problems whatsoever. Tires are gripping and doing just fine. It's a nice ride. It's a really nice ride. It's a comfortable bike. For long rides, this is probably going to become my main bike. All right, so I need to cut the testing out for today. It is like 32 degrees out here, and I really didn't dress for it. So I'm going to do the range test tomorrow. I'll take the battery up to a full charge and take it on a ride, but I got to get some heavier clothes on. It's windy out here. So overall, at the end of the first day of riding, I'm happy with it, but it does have some things that I hope I can improve upon. So like, I've stopped here and I'm on an incline. This is where it would be really nice to have that throttle to take off. I could have gone down a few gears and it would have helped, but man, that's annoying. All right, guys, I've come out here on day 2 for testing this bike out for a range test. And unfortunately, that information is not fully going to be in this video today, so I will add it later, I promise. I took it home last night, charged it back up to full, and I've been riding it at around 15 miles per hour and that's how I normally do my range tests, and I try to run the battery down to like, 1 bar and see what kind of assessment I can get off of that. It is just too cold. I gotta bail, and I'm gonna have to add an addendum to the range test in the comments section below to cover that, because it was supposed to be 44 degrees today. It's 27, and we got wind gusts of like 20 miles per hour. I'm bundled up pretty well, but I gotta bail. I just can't do it anymore. So I try to give as much accurate information as far as range tests go, and as much information as I can give to everybody, and I really like to have that kind of accurate information in these reviews, but my body just can't handle it today. So I'm going to head back, and as soon as we do have a warm day, I'm going to bring the bike out and do a full range test. I'll put the results in the comments section, but I just can't today. Sorry, guys. As for what I got today, I rode 9.2 miles, and like I said, I've been keeping it around 15 miles per hour. I've been going like between pedal assist 3 and pedal assist 4, and the battery is still showing a full charge, though I wouldn't trust that. It's probably closer to like 4 bars out of 5 now, but you can't always go by what these battery meters say. This does look like a pretty good screen, so I would say that it might be fairly accurate, but I would say that it's getting close to dropping to the 4-bar mark here. Unfortunately, I just can't go on. Sorry. All right, so my final thoughts on the Totem Ranger. It's a mixed bag. I mean, there are a lot of things that I really love about this bike, but 2 like kind of annoying things about it that make my final thoughts tentative at this point. So I'm going to see if I can modify the settings with that controller screen that I ordered, and if I can, I'm going to follow up on this video. I will say that this bike is definitely worth what they're asking for it. You can get this bike for around just under 700 bucks. It's like $499 and then $199 shipping. So it is a good price for what you get. I really am hoping that I can modify the controller settings on here and get rid of some of the issues that do exist with the bike. So if I can make those changes to the controller, I really do like this bike enough to keep it and modify it. So if I'm able to make those changes, I'm definitely going to add a bigger sprocket to the front to make it ride more the way I would prefer. And I'll most likely, if I'm able to make those changes, wire in a second battery on that rack back there. I like this bike that much. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.